things are different. More on that in a minute. Not as sweet as I expected. Hey everybody! Welcome to Dead Dodge Garage Live, where we try to get taken down for copyright infringement. Well, there's some big black clouds that are blowing in from the west. I've been driving all day long, I sure could use some rest. Well, there's a motel up ahead where I can unwind. Lord, I sure love thunderstorms and neon signs. I grew up on the road from town to town. My daddy's line of work kept us moving around. I got fond memories of the way things were back then. The warmth of the neon when a cold storm's moving in. Let's see. Thanks, Avon. Appreciate that. If I'm right here, then the light's not blinding the... Yeah, we'll work on that. No, we won't. Hello, everybody. Dead Dodge Garage Sunday streaming special, coming to you live from my wife's new office. One of our roommates moved out, so we painted this yesterday, and now we're kind of putting it together. But it's still a work in progress. Dan and Jorge are here. Brent Forte as well. Rich Jordan. Phantom Pinecone. Oh, hey. It's that guy. Hi. You want to come say hi? Okay. Bye. My wife's new office is right next to my daughter's room, so she's probably in there chatting or playing Roblox or something. Ooh, interesting detail. It's never been finished, but above me is this crazy loft I built. Loft bed. Pretty neat. Heck of a guest bedroom, you know what I'm saying? Anyway. P38 Chris here with us again. Hello. Rick Rice is with us and says, greetings from Massachusetts. Hello. Yeah, Ross says the light works really well. I'll just do this kind of whenever I have an idea, and then you'll know. And until then, yeah, it's just going to be a constant problem. Different office, Dan. Mrs. Jamie's office. Excuse me, full of burps. We learned this weekend that my daughter is an expert at burping. Couldn't get her to do the alphabet. That would be a proud dad moment. My mom's here on time for a change. Very nice. Big Wrench Tech wants to know, so what strings do you prefer? I prefer the ones that I can buy. Actually, getting strings around here is kind of tough. I used to use Ernie balls. I like the Diodarios. That's usually what I go for. And I used to play super, super tiny strings so I could bend them like 3 whole steps. I think I play usually 50s, 1050s, something in that range. I used to play in D standard and drop C, and now I'm almost exclusively playing in standard tuning again. So don't need the big, huge, chunky ones. I've gone through phases on that. Avon flattered me with a compliment. I very much appreciate that. Lovejoy's here with us as well. Hello, Lovejoy. Hello from Florida. Good morning, Vietnam. If you haven't hit like on the stream, please do that. I see 31 of you out there. That's pretty good for the first 5 minutes. So thanks for being here with us. Really appreciate it. If you have any questions, technical, personal, guitar related, whatever, let me know and I'll try and answer them. If you're playing the Dead Dodge Garage drinking game, I certainly am. And the flavor of the day is a new one. My sister brought me a Marionberry last week, which I drank on Friday, I think. So I had to go buy something and I decided to get something different. But I got Square Mile Cider Company Imperial Blackberry Pie. It's good. I expected it to be sweeter. It doesn't really taste like pie. But it does kind of taste like my jam, which is not super sweet. Bob is here with us and says, yeah, I figured. Sunday fun time here again. Yes, I was being sarcastic about the dirt ride. You sounded a bit nervous. You see, he was really excited because it hasn't run that well since we put it together. And he just kind of lit into it. I know that road really well, and I've done many test drives down it. I also kind of take it easy where people live. So yeah, I was a little nervous. Also, no seatbelts. Not that a lap belt's really going to save me if he puts it in the river, but you know, it's that false sense of security. Hi, Big Wrench. Rocco Bukako is here with us and says, yo, what's bonking? Now, how's the audio in here, by the way? This room's kind of empty. And it's really tall. We did this loft because the ceiling right here is 8.5 feet. No, sorry, it's 8 feet there. So it's 11 feet at the top, I think. We're actually in a turret in the upstairs of my house. There's all kinds of like fancy window action over here. Some of Mrs. Jamie's prized possessions there. It's kind of nifty, but it's kind of loud. Stacy is here. Good evening, Stacy. The Big Wrench. Yes, it's a very nice home, actually. And we're, the interior was kind of boring 90s when we moved in. There's wood trim on stuff, but it, you know, not amazing. So we're trying to spice it up a notch. That's all in the cards. But mostly room by room, we're painting it dark, gloomy goth colors. So this is just the latest to fall victim to that tendency. I probably will be back out in the shop office at some point, but it's kind of become full of crap. So I'm going to have to clean some stuff. Luke Titchno is with us. Love the 64 vid. My little 64 Rambler American really gets down with the 5.9 Magnum. Oh, yeah, sure it does. I mean, you saw what Mike's car does. It's a 4-speed. It's just got 323s. So nothing crazy, but it gets with it. Magnum engines are great. You know, you throw a carburetor on them and a cam and some better springs and dude, yeah, 400 ponies is really easy. I love Magnums. Excuse me. I got to do another one of those swaps for myself one of these years. John Davis says, I'm crazy about your brother's 64 Plymouth, my first car, $100. Wow. Technically, he didn't pay anything for his, so it was cheaper than that, but it was also a total pile, and it still is. But yeah, it's a cool car. It's interesting collection of components put together in a way that only my brother can do. But yeah, it's super cool. I want a 64 Dodge to match it. In fact, we tried to buy one once. That hasn't worked out yet, but maybe someday. Not that I need another Peabody. I really don't. Rocco Bukako says, Ernie Ball, heavy bottom. Yeah, I've tried like just about all of them. But yeah, I settled on Diodarios. I don't know. They just seemed a little higher quality. I like them. So, but I've bought enough Ernie Balls in my life to like own stock in the company. So yeah. Dan Berg says, never fear, I am here. Hello, Dan. I still don't know what we're talking about tonight. No idea. My sister says, I need to know what last night's cider was. It was incredible. Ashley's Pub House. I played a show last night at Ashley's Pub House in Hoquiam, Washington. Really great music venue. One of the best, I'd say, we've ever had here as far as sound quality and cool vibe. It is in a tent, and it's been raining heavily, so the floor was squishy. And when it was really coming down, there's a drip line between the stage, which is under like a lean-to, and the audience tent. Kind of weird, but really cool. Anyway, the cider was Cider Boys, I think strawberry that they had on tap. But then later she told me it was, did I say papaya or something? I swear that's what she said, but the first gal said it was strawberry. Whatever it was excellent. I think it was strawberry. Really good. That's what I was hoping this would be like. Big Wrench Tech. So, tube or solid state amp? Tubes and nothing but tubes. That's not true. Sun Beta Lead. I have had several transistor amps I liked quite a bit, actually. But yeah, it's tubes for me. I'm currently playing exclusively with a Bassman 50 tube head, 1968. And then the other head we have for bass is a Bassman 100. Also tubes, twice as many tubes. I've got a Hot Rod Deluxe tubes. I've got my Silvertone 1484 Twin 12 Sears amp. Tubes. All of my amps are 6L6s, all of them, except my little Fender Champ, and it's a single 6B6. I think that's what they have. Yeah. Some solid states are fine. I really like Sun amps, but tubes for me. My mom says it sounds empty, a little echoey. Yeah, I figured it would, but as long as it's like vaguely listenable. We got to get some more furniture in here. Ooh, check this out. You'll recognize this. My coaster. Cascade Natural Gas Corporation. Had to bring that up here. I'll have you all know, I was going to run out to the shop and grab Prudence, but I just ran out of time setting all this up. Jorge says, about that turbo and slant 6. It's going to happen. And I wasn't planning to release that video as it was. I wanted to do more, like actually start on the pieces. I didn't even realize in the video, I didn't show the intake manifold combination I'm putting together, which is actually kind of trick. I've got a single barrel aluminum slant intake and a carb spacer that's aluminum. And my friend Mike, who owns that Dart, is going to hack a hole in the one barrel, and we're going to mount the carb spacer on there, actually turned at a 45-degree angle, so it's symmetrical and it lines up with the runners. I think it'll be a better solution than putting it on there square with the short intake. Because I know one way or another, it's a slant 6 and we're going to have fuel distribution issues, but it just seemed like it'll fit on there perfectly. And I think it's going to work pretty well. So we'll see. My genius plan is the MSD Atomic EFI on that intake, custom made intake. And then hack the heat riser and output section of the manifold, exhaust manifold off. We'll probably grind down that section on the bottom of the intake, and then weld a flange right on there, say a prayer that it stays attached, stick the turbo on, and then it's down to ducting. So we'll see how that goes. I'm wondering, when you put a turbo, when you boost a carburetor, a blow through carburetor, the fuel cools the charge, cools the fuel air charge as it descends. So people are able to run them without intercoolers to great effect. And I'm wondering if the Atomic is going to do the same thing, because it's throttle body injection. So the fuel is still up here and it's still going in the stream. So it's going to atomize in a similar fashion, right? We'll find out. Might have to put an intake air temperature sensor in it. I think that'd be cool. But yeah, we were talking before about multi-point. I wanted to do multi-point, and I've realized, you know what? Let's just throw the Atomic on there. It's easy. It's supposed to be good to 14 pounds of boost, which we're never going to make. So that's the plan. But anyway, that video, you saw with the section tacked on at the end. I didn't really finish it. I didn't exactly explain the recipe to the extent that I've worked it so far. And at least one commenter said, okay, get on with it. So yeah, I get that. The video was a little hollow. There will be more. Don't worry about it. But last week I had 5 A bodies. This week I have 3. I sold the gold Barracuda, and I did sell the Duster. It went away yesterday morning. Ironically, an hour after I posted the second video on it. So figure that one out. So I think what's going to happen is turbo setup is just going to go right on the Barracuda. Let's just cut to the chase. Someone did say in a comment, test it on the Volare, install it on the Barracuda. And that was pretty much my idea. But I just don't even want to mess with the Volare because, again, it's a slant 5. And somebody in the comments on that said, was a slant 5 really a thing? Because I Googled it and I couldn't find any information on it. No, man, it's one of them jokes. So anyway, yeah, I think the turbo setup's just going straight on the Barracuda. It already doesn't have exhaust, you know, and it's already a great running engine. I do need to sort out the ignition. So there's some stuff that needs to happen, but that is my genius plan. And if we blow that up, we'll do something different. I do have another 80s engine in pieces. What up, Duck? What up, license plate frame Duck? Rich Jordan says the red stripe on the Dart was really striking. Yeah, it's quite the look. So that car was factory white with the red stripe. He repainted the car matte white, and he put heavy flake in the stripe on the dash, the door uppers, and it's really cool looking. I really like it. It did have a dash pad originally. He shaved all the dash pad holes and just painted the whole frame. It's cool. It's a really good look. I really do like it. 4 trucks ago, I bought a 99 Cummins from a dealership, and I traded in my 2002 Cummins to them when I did that. And before I did that, I tried to trade it to him for his Dart. And I think he thought about it for 8 seconds and then said no. And then later, I think he regretted it. And there was another time I tried to get it out of him because I just really like the car, but it's very much his car, you know? I mean, there are just so many custom touches, so many little things. He built the sway bar. He built the subframe connectors. He parted out an Aspen to get the disc brakes. We actually got him it's a factory 64 Dart 4-speed that's in it. Or actually, it's from a Barracuda technically, but still, we set him up with the 8 3/4 housing. I think we swapped him the gear chunk that's in it. You know, we've helped along the way, but it's very much his baby. And yeah, he built or found just about everything else. So it's a cool car. Very cool. And I will do a longer form video on it eventually. I just didn't have the time. Greg says false sense of security allows us to do fun things. They let me down the drag strip with just a lap belt and the Demon. So I think it's fine. But yeah, being in the passenger seat with no seatbelt while he doubled the speed limit stressed me out a little bit. Dust Devil Garage, the other DDG here with us again. I just want to tell you, every single week I think about going to your stream, but I keep having like a show or a thing I have to do or a birthday party, or I will get there eventually. And then I'll hop in and I'll say, hey, what's up? It's the better DDG. Oh, yeah. Luke, this is on that Magnum swap. Kept the fuel injection. That's what I thought. I think you mentioned it before. Kept the fuel injection backed with a Getrag 5-speed. Interesting. Very cool. Yeah, and even in that trim, like it limits the horsepower number and the RPM, but it makes plenty of torque to have fun. The one in my Charger was good. Very good. Rocco says, how about a Magnum recipe video? Yes, I'd very much like to do that. A performance Magnum. It's on the list. Actually, Dan, I have the same question. Getrag, I think, is there a smaller Getrag? Because 93 AX, 73 Javelin with an AX15. That's interesting. Yeah, I wonder what transmission you mean, because if there's a Getrag that goes behind the Magnum, I don't know what it is. Usually they're NVs, AX15s in some applications. Anyway, Magnum recipe. Yes, I'd like to do that. Performance Magnum. Next time I am building one, I will. David Rich wants to know, do you have any of your trucks for sale that would be able to drive across the country? Well, I did 2 months ago, but it drove to Wisconsin. So as of now, no. The blue and white extended cab, club cab, I'm going to be putting the engine in that. I think I figured out why the original 318 blew up. That was a great truck. I got it from my friend Dave, part trade, when I got rid of my 66 Charger. It drove awesome. So many new parts in it, lots and lots of nice stuff. I would be confident in that one driving across the country once the engine is done and I've done some shakedown runs, driven it to Olympia a couple times. But I'm kind of taking my sweet time on that. I had other priorities like engine in the Demon so I can go drag racing, which, by the way, did not happen this last Friday because it was raining, but I think will happen this coming Friday. So look forward to a drag strip video probably this next weekend. We'll see. But yeah, anyway, that truck probably would drive across the country once I'm done with it, but it might be a while. Javi Macias, I'm guessing, says, greetings from deep South Texas, Rio Grande Valley, South Padre Island. Really like your show. Awesome. Greetings from Western Washington, almost the Pacific Ocean. I can smell the muddy banks of the Wishkah that Kurt Cobain was singing about from right here through this window. In fact, yeah, I can see the Wishkah from up here. That's kind of cool. Greg Loy says, you need more early B-bodies. Well, yeah, you're probably right. Man, Tom sold it. There was a 65 Belvedere 3 on the tree, like police sedan out back at Rocket for ages. And I got really excited about it for about 5 minutes. I thought that would be super cool. But yeah, he sold it finally. Oh, well. Someday a 64 Dodge, I think, would be cool. I don't know. They're not the muscle era. They are not my favorite B-bodies, but I do like them. And actually, I've said this before too, 63 Plymouth. I don't like the 64 as much. I really like the 63 two-door Plymouth. So I'd take one of those, I guess. But neat is the wrong word. Tyler C's here with us and says, good evening. Good evening, Tyler. How you doing there? 35 of you out there. If you haven't hit the likey button on the stream, please do that. Feel free to send me money. I love when people send me money. Who doesn't? I promise to only use it to purchase drugs and alcohol. And if you have any questions, let me know and I will get to them. But it might take me a while. Melvin's Mutters wants to know, are you intending on doing a how-to Magnum swap series? Yes. I have an entire playlist of information on the Magnum series engines. I've done timing cover repair, intake manifold repair. I've done differences between the LA and the Magnum. And that video gives you a lot of the information that you need. But it's not all there. And it's not an actual like swap guide. I did another video pretty early days, actually. And you could tell because I'm like muttering and you can barely hear what I'm saying. But I did a video called Like an LS, but less. Is that what it is? Like an LS, but less the Magnum swap in a classic Mopars, something like that. Like an LS, but less. And it's in my Magnum playlist too. And that one, I do also go into some of the details, some of the differences, but I haven't done an end-to-end guide. And that is my plan. I've been planning that since the beginning. A lot of people want that information and I want to share it. But for some reason, like I've lined up a couple different projects to do it and it just never happens. For one thing, the Magnum engine I have, I'm not entirely confident is any good. So I don't really want to put it in anything. I recently found another good donor, Magnum 5.9 overdrive automatic electronic control. And I want to take that entire setup is a 2-wheel drive truck. So I can put it in a car. I can put it in a different truck, whatever I want to do. So it is still at the junkyard. No one go buy it. I need it. It's going to come with the wiring, the computer. No, the computer's gone, but I have one. Everything else is there. So yeah, I'm going to take that and put it in something. I don't know what, but something. So we will get there. I just can't say when. It's taken me a year and 5 months so far. Jorge wants to know, can you still purchase vacuum tubes? I think so. I hope so. Let's find out. Pretty sure you can still get Russian ones. Tube Depot. Tongue Solids, Dumac. Yeah, they're all over the internet. Electro Harmonics branded, JJ branded, PV branded, and then there are Tongue Sols. Yeah, they're all over the place. I mean, you can find some new old stock, but basically, as I understand, all of the tubes sold now come from one factory in Russia. And I don't know if that situation has changed. Last I knew, at least one American company was trying to ramp up production of them again, partially to make money, but partially also so we don't have to get them from Russia. I don't know what the state of that is currently, but you can hop online and buy them. All kinds of different places have them. Hey, I see like 10 more people just hopped in here. Welcome to Dead Dodge Garage Live, the Sunday special, where we always play the Dead Dodge Garage drinking game, and we try to get the stream shut down due to copyright infringement. Feel free to hit like on the stream, but only if you like it, and ask me any questions you may have. The more technical, the better, unless I don't know. Brent Forte, what are the pluses and minuses on a heavier flywheel? Does it make the engine decelerate slower? Any info? It's a manual. Yeah, basically you get the flywheel effect. It will be slower to change RPM based on rotating weight, essentially. So it'll speed up slower and slow down slower, if that makes sense. My only personal experience with reducing that weight, my brother had a 273 in a Plymouth Duster, kind of cool, and it had an aluminum flywheel behind it. And that thing, oh my God, you just breathe on the throttle and it just revved freely. Now, obviously, in gear with the weight of the car on it, you're not going to experience that quite so much, but still, it helps. You know, less rotating weight, less work for the engine to do, more power. So yeah. Back in the bad old days, as I understand, thanks to Uncle Tony, big, heavy, gnarly flywheels were the norm intentionally for that rotating mass. Something. You had to lug around in second gear. First gear wasn't synchronized. You couldn't downshift. Heavy weight helped to keep the engine spinning at low RPM. Apparently. So yes, I can't really think of any reason other than that one. I can't think of any reason from a performance standpoint that you would want a heavier flywheel. A lighter one is better, but I can tell you that solely an aluminum flywheel with no steel face and with a regular street clutch does bad stuff, so don't do that. Dan wants to know, Dan Berg, how many more subs are you needing? 1 million. 1 million would be great. I'm going to cut my hair and shave my beard when I hit 10,000. So that's like 1,600 more, I think. I don't know. Let's check in. Let's get the numbers. Let's see where we're at. 8,436 subscribers. I made $684 in the last month. Woo! All my problems are over. If you have to suffer through my ads on my channel, hang on. I thank you, because it does actually pay me something. Today's video is doing pretty good. Oh, P38 Chris wants to know, ever dabble in troubleshooting old AM radios and vintage Mopars? Not yet. That's kind of above my pay grade. Oh, my mom did not know I had those. Funny story. The reason we live in Aberdeen, Washington is because my grandpa moved up here because of Cascade Natural Gas Corporation. He worked for them. He was like a regional guy. He used to drive all over Oregon and I think up here to different locations and stuff. He moved here, worked for the company, and then retired in 94? Don't remember. Anyway, yeah. So I have some coasters. Kind of cool. Oh, Luke says that's an 05 factory 3.7 two-wheel drive transmission. Okay, so that must be some smaller Getrag. I don't know anything about that one. Huh. Might have to learn about that. Big Wrench Tech wants to know, have you tried your hand at paint and bodywork? It can be fun sometimes. I have tried my hand at it, and it's not fun for me at all. It's just so tedious. And it is an art, it's not mechanical, it's not scientific, it's an art. And I do consider myself an artist, but I'm not a sculptor. I've done a bit of it. In fact, I did help Mike when he paint and bodied that green and silver crew cab that I've shown on the channel before. And we'll be showing again soon. I'm trying to get one more video done on it before it goes to Arizona. I helped do some filler work and some block sanding on that. And the work I did turned out okay. It's not my thing. I much prefer a crappier looking car to trying to do that. I've done it in the past. My 70 Dart Swinger, I took all apart. I'm going to fix these dents. I'm going to do that. That roof seam on all A bodies that always goes to crap, I fixed several of those. I did it on that car. I was shaving all the trim holes that were messed up. They'd been welded up, but you could see where every one of them was. And so I think on the driver's side quarter panel, I did the roof seam. I did every one of those, and I got them looking pretty good. And then I just got so disgusted with it. I stopped, and I put it in another round of rattle can, and I was so happy. And that really taught me a lesson. Diving in on paint and bodywork is not for me. It's not something I should do. It just takes too long. And I don't get the satisfaction out of it. It really just irritates me. I get immense satisfaction out of building engines, out of diagnosing and fixing electrical, out of sciencing out little bits of a combination in a car. But paint and body just does not do it for me. So, yeah. Okay, and then I saw this a bit ago because, he said it a bit ago because I'm way behind. So if you do have things to say, maybe hold off for a few minutes. I'll try and catch up here because I'm 18 minutes behind. Luke says, my 73 Javelin is 5.9 Magnum swapped as well. I think you mentioned that too. I don't remember. And it's got a 93 AX15 four-wheel drive transmission and half-ton axles and 40s. Makes a lot of people mad. I'm not mad. That's amazing. Yes, I told you I had an answer to all these questions. No, pineapple doesn't belong on pizza. Pineapple doesn't belong in mouths. I just don't like it. This one time, many, many moons ago, my grandma said, oh, I have some cake. It's upside down cake. Cool. Okay. I don't care if cake is right side up or upside down. It sounds amazing. And then I took a bite and it had pineapple in it. And I said, that's pineapple. And she said, well, yeah, it's pineapple upside down cake. I've never felt so betrayed by a sweet. You know what I mean? So yeah, it doesn't belong in pizza, but only because I don't like it. I could understand the, yeah. Tyler says, Aussie Speed long runner intake would be cool, but probably not cheap. Yeah, and cheap is exactly what I'm going for here. If it's not cheap, I don't want it. And Ken, yes, I realize that. Unfortunately, there's not a lot I can do about it. I could bring the brightness down a little bit. It might make it harder for me to read, though. Yeah. I can live with that. No, I can't. I can't live with that. I'll try this. I was trying to aim my glasses away from it, but I got bored. I forgot. Oh, Dan has a Dakota AX15 two-wheel drive transmission. Yeah, I might need that from you someday. I assume you're going to use it. JTS wants to know, do you know the maximum lift on Magnum Engine Quest heads with Hughes springs? I appreciate it. Well, Hughes has their special retainers and keepers and such that are supposed to help. I do not know what the maximum is in that application. Because the Engine Quest, did they lower the guide or not? I mean, if they didn't, you can, or have a machinist do it for you and fix that. I don't know by the numbers. No, I know with the Hughes setup, it's more, but yeah, I just don't know. I'd say measure, but you kind of have to have huge springs and retainers in your hand to do that. So, yeah, I'm not sure. I've seen the procedure to measure it before. I mean, I'm not going to try and repeat it to you. I've never done it, but there should be a way to figure that out. But I can't tell you a number. Jorge says, yes, pineapple and ham on pizza, yum, yum. In Dominican Republic, I saw corn as a topping for pizza. I could see that. I could see that. I am just so not a pineapple guy. I'm in my 30s now, and I do like a lot more food than I ever have in my life, but pineapple, not on that list. 51 of you out there. That's awesome. That might be the most we've ever had at one time. So thank you very much for joining us. I appreciate it. Feel free to grab a frosty cold one and feel free to ask me questions. I also play music, but I do not play requests. A lot of you had ideas for songs that we should do last week, and unfortunately, most of them just kind of weren't my thing. I know a lot of classic rock songs, at least on the guitar, but I can't exactly play requests is what I'm trying to say. I'm not quite a jukebox. Oh, yeah, but feel free to hit like on the stream if you would, because it does stuff for the thing with the deal. Cave Dave is back here with us. Of course, Cave Dave's got that 65 Plymouth he's working on. Dave says, hey, guys, how you doing there? Another beautiful day. I have completely changed my scenery yet again, and I'm in my wife's new office in the upstairs of our house. Very cool. Note, I said it's my wife's office. I'm allowed to use it. But I'm not allowed to choose the decor. That's not true. I helped pick the color. I really like it. It's a horribly dark blue. We're really into the goth rooms around here. Our master bathroom suite thing is black, and it's beautiful. Don't let anyone tell you you can't paint a room black. You don't need that kind of negativity in your life. Stacy says, not that it'll come as a shock, but that 2000 Ram Charger I sent you pics of hasn't sold yet. The post has a large amount of laugh reacts. Yeah, those are cool trucks. And the thing is that it's one of those things that just doesn't exist. So it's valuable. There's no question that it's valuable, but the price was a little bit up there. You know what? I'm just going to pull it up and show it on the stream. Since you're here and you bring it up, just in case anyone doesn't know about these things, because they are cool. They're cool, except, and I'll get to that in a second. We didn't get late Ram Chargers here in America, but they had them in other parts of the world. Look at that. 2-door Ram SUV. Now, you'll notice a couple things. First off, that's normal non-opening door back glass. But the other thing you might notice is the Durango back windows. Okay, cool. So they're borrowing parts from other Chryslers. Makes sense. Till you get to the back. That is a Caravan lift gate. And that, I can't do it. And for 38,000 Canadian, I'm good on that. Thank you. Cool truck. Not for me. Javi wants to know, have you ever installed a roller cam in an LA block or done a video on it? No, but I'm planning to. Dan Tupper and I are kind of going back and forth on this. I want to do a roller cam, mostly just to do it, and because I really want to reach high RPM with the build that I have in mind for it. We might stick with a solid flat, but I think a roller would be the way to go. It will be expensive, and as I just said a minute ago, if it's expensive, it's not for me, but I might make an exception on a cam. And the thing is, the roller cam is just so superior in every single way. It's probably worth it. I have not done a video on that yet. I plan to. I have on a big block. Sorry, I haven't released the video yet. I have put one in a big block. I'm still working on the second installment. I think we have to drink on that one. Second installment of the 451 stroker build. I decided to wait to put it out until I had a little bit more on it. For one thing, a guy in the comments just came in and gave me a bunch of shit and told me it wasn't going to work and I was an idiot and I should get off YouTube and go back to school. So I kind of want to just wait until the engine runs to like rub it in that guy's face. Kind of. So I don't know when the next installment will be out, but I have done one roller conversion cam so far. Of course, they have the dog bone style lifter retainer. It ties the two lifters for that cylinder together. It was easy. I do know in LA blocks, you have to do some clearancing sometimes. I didn't have to do any of that on this one, but you might. So yeah, down the road, I'll definitely be doing that. To this point, my only roller experience is Magnum engines and their factory stuff, not a conversion. So there you are. Jorge says, what was the gray truck with big tires on it that I saw in the Slant 6 video? That thing is shoe clean. Gray truck with big tires. Gray truck, big tires. I have no idea. I don't know. Oh. The silver and green. Yeah, silver and green crew cab. It's silver down the sides, but it's silver and dark green. Metallic. That's the one I was just talking about that I helped bodywork before it got painted. My friend Mike with that white dart painted it. It is a 78 W200 crew cab. I have featured that in a video called Problem Child. That was about a year ago. And it pretty much tells you everything you need to know about it. I used that as a prop during my classic Dodge truck cab styles video about a month and a half, 2 months ago. Not even that long, month and a half. And I'm working on another installment, which should be the last installment on that truck. The owner lives in Arizona. It's supposed to be shipped to Arizona. In fact, a shipping truck could show up any day to take it away, but I'm trying to wrap up a few things first. So that's what that is. It's very cool. It's a good truck. So you'll see more on that. Rick Rice says, both Wix filters cross to the same Purolator filter. Do I change it? Yes. Why not? I don't know what you're talking about, though. If you said something about it before, I don't know. But Purolator's fine. But Wix. I'm confused. I feel like I'm missing an important piece of information there. And if you respond and tell me what you're talking about, well, I probably won't see it for a while, so I apologize. DRC Racing Garage is here with us and says, just sub today. Cool stuff. Thank you very much. I appreciate the sub, and I appreciate you being here with us. We have a pretty tight-knit group of folks that are usually here every week having fun. We have some very knowledgeable people here, and it's really cool. It's kind of like a group therapy session for Moparaholics. And it's a good excuse to drink on a Sunday night. So again, thanks. Luke says, I never ran numbers on that trans in my Rambler. It came out of an 05 3.7 V6 two-wheel drive truck. I've been told it can't be a Getrag, but it's either an NV3500 or NV3550. Okay, that would make more sense. The only Getrag I'm aware of is the one that was used behind the Cummins, but I know they made more than one. I just don't know anything else about them, really. So, SRT Hellcat Hemi. Just watched the Demon video. Any further comments? The last one, the one where we were kind of shaking it down and I was tuning it a little bit and just sort of buttoning up the swap. Further comments, it's awesome. I tested the rev limiter in front of my house. It works quite well, in fact. I've got two nice, very satisfying black stripes to confirm that. I've been beating it all around town, kind of trying to get some miles on the clutch, miles on the engine. So far, no leaks, no horrible sounds, great oil pressure. It runs awesome. I haven't taken it past 4,800 RPM, I think is about as high as I've taken it so far. I'm not planning to go farther than 6 because I know who built the engine and it was me. And also it's just kind of not built to do that. But yeah, so far it's really good. And the next installment is going to be going to the track, which I think will be next Friday. So again, I'm just trying to get all the miles I can, breaking in the clutch, breaking in the engine, and making sure we're all good. But I did pull all the plugs, looked at them. That was at the end of the last video, and things are looking pretty good. Rooster suggested I add some octane booster, some good octane booster. And if I can find some, I will, because I do have a bit of a pinging issue. I'm really not sure. I'm at 32 degrees, and I swear the other day I kind of lugged it in second, and I still heard it ping. And that's just not right. So anyway, that's where we're at. It's a bit of a process, but I'm very much looking forward to getting back to the track with that car. It's going to be cool. And if I don't leave with a time that starts with an 8, and ideally the next number is like a 5 or better, like a speed fast enough that I have to wear a helmet, I'm going to be upset. So I'll either make that number or I'll break the car. That's basically the program there. And that should be this coming Friday. So probably have a video out on it on Sunday. Greg Loy, 63 Plymouth Sport Fury, 413 Cross Ram, 4-speed. Holy grail of Mopar. That is a good one. And I would love to have a Cross Ram setup. You know, this one's cool. But actually what I really want is an earlier car with the long Rams. That might happen someday, but I don't know. We'll see. Bananas here and says, hello. I saw the 74 Duster, and I think it still should have gone in the Volare. Well, good news. I sold the Duster. I haven't sold the Volare, but I think I'm just going to cut to the chase and put it in my fastback Barracuda. I just think it's the best thing to do. It's the best setup car. I like it the most. I care about it the most. The people like it. I was considering a turbo from the very beginning. I mentioned it in the first video on it, basically, or the second, when I announced the Daily Driver project. We've talked about it here. I do want to do that with EFI. And I think I'm just going to put it on the Barracuda. I'm collecting all the parts. I'm having an intake manifold made. I bought a turbo, so I need to get an external wastegate. I need to do some other things. But I'm putting the combination together, and I think I'll just put it on the Barracuda. You know, it would be fun on the Volare. And as I've said before, literally nothing matters. Like, it doesn't matter what happens to that car. The problem with the Volare is it only runs on 5 cylinders. I think it has a bad intake valve. So I got a cylinder head from Tom. It needs work. It's also an earlier one. So then I need the drool tubey thingies. Well, he got me some of those too, but it's like, there are just so many steps. Why are there so many steps? I don't want to put that kind of time into that car. It's a piece of garbage. So I think I'm just going to do it on the Barracuda. It's the best engine, the lightweight 80s engine. It runs amazing. I like the car better. I care about it. I'll do a nice job, you know, and people like that car too. So I think that's probably what's going to happen. I might use some parts off the Volare. I might just sell that damn thing too, because I was just at a point this last week where I had 5 A-bodies plus that, plus however many trucks I have, I don't even know anymore, plus 2 vans, and no money. And I'm just like, what am I doing? I don't need any of this shit. So the Volare probably going to be next on the chopping block, but I haven't committed to that. I might still do something with it. We'll see. At least for now. Again, I sold the Duster. I made a few bucks on it. Not riches or anything, but I made a few bucks, and I sold the Gold Barracuda as well. So at least I can breathe, you know, and buy some parts for turbo swaps or whatever. Average Joe Builds is back here with us. He says he's painting a dart hood and catching up on the live chat. This has become his Sunday ritual. Mine too. Average Joe Builds, of course, putting back together the Cheap Thrills dart. And I think it was about a week. I think it was last weekend. He went and picked up a 72 dart swinger, another one, for parts. So he's fixing that front end and putting it on the Cheap Thrills dart. It's going to be a whole 72 swinger once again, which is awesome. It's looking super good, and I can't wait. I had a different answer to this question, but Banana gave you one, so I guess we're good there. K-Man Weisenbach is here with us and wants to know, are you going to leave the Magnum stock or Cam? Other goodies? Well, in the course of this live, I've committed to 2 totally different things. So let me explain to you my thinking on that. Magnums can be 2 things. One of them is stock with the EFI. Sorry, I'm really trying to fix this, but it's tough. Maybe I could... hold on, wait. I have a solution. Are you ready for this? Magic desk. Factory with the EFI as Chrysler built it in a car, leave it alone and go. That's option one. Bolt-on performance mods, from what I've read and seen, they just really don't do a lot. So like, why? Leave it alone. It's fine. Great street performance, daily driver, good to go. The other side is carbureted performance build or aftermarket fuel injection kit, something like that, but not the kegger. The kegger needs to go. And the Mopar performance intake for that is like stupidly expensive. And then even if you do that, is the computer going to be happy to 5,500 RPM, 6,000 RPM? Probably not. Bad stuff's going to happen. So I wouldn't use the factory stuff for that. So I want to do both. I want to build a performance Magnum, work the heads over, do a cam, do the Hughes spring setup for better lift, and just go for it. But more importantly, I want to do a factory EFI Magnum swap. I don't know. That's just, I really like it. I've done it a couple times. It works really well. So, and we have other people here who have done it, who agree it works really well. Guys, I'm way farther behind than I was. So that's good. I'm going to try and speed run some of these and see if I can catch up to the now times. Jason Umbright's here with us again, the owner of the Not Little Red, which is still exploded. Jason says, happy Sunday from Wisconsin. Thanks for being here. Mikey Mopar's here with us and says, finally made it live for once. Awesome. And Mikey says, yeah, +1 for Tube Depot. Cool. Jason says, I got to start setting an alarm so I stop being late. Yeah, it's your life, though. It's not that important. Oh, cool. Luke's Rambler at Dirt Drags is on his wife's YouTube, Amanda Tichnell or Tichinell, whichever it is. That's cool. Fair, mud bogs and dirt drags. Hell yeah. Lovejoy. I can do Rising Sun, but it's a lot better rock and roll. Because I can't hit the notes. Sitting in my room here with an acoustic guitar, I can't hit the notes. But you put me on stage with volume around me, I got it, baby. Bob says there is a guy in the States who bought out the GE tube factory. I think everything's handmade. Sorry, I can't remember the channel. That's cool. That might have been what I was reading about, but I'm just not totally sure. Rippler Brr is back with us and says, switch from UTG to DDG channel for Sunday Night Lives. Oh, hell yeah. Tell Uncle Tony to suck it. Don't actually do that. I've learned a lot from him. He's one of my biggest influences in things. So, yeah. But anyway, I've tried to hang out in his lives too. And he's never answered or acknowledged one of my questions. But of course, there are like 300 people in his life. So it gets kind of tough. I mean, as you can see, it's getting kind of tough here too, because the more people we have and the more comments, and I'm going to need a moderator. Hopefully my wife's actually willing to do that one of these years, but we'll see. Yeah, Ross has a great point there. Unsprung weight reduction is the cheapest power you can get. Oh, sorry. Rippler also said, keep the vintage Mopar tips going. Thanks. I will. And thank you very much for being here. I really do appreciate that. Jorge thought that was Will Smith. My mom doesn't want me to cut my hair, which is weird. The sub count goes up every day. So anyway. Tariq Hamad says, charger video soon? Video on my charger? I haven't done any in a while. I've done tons of them. The charger's been parked for the winter, or whatever we're having now, which I think is just second winter, or maybe it's revenge of fall, rainy season. It's just inside. I've had it out a couple times, but yeah, I'll do more with it. You'll see it. I have some ideas for it this year. We'll see what happens. But yeah, as soon as the weather is decent, I'll have it back out and I'll be driving it to work every day again. So I'm very much looking forward to that. I'll take a minute for this, Jason. I can't go on a 20-minute tirade about it because I'm so far behind. But basically, I mentioned 318 heads on a 360 will give better low end. And discuss. Basically, it's this. Smaller chamber, smaller valve, smaller port. You would need a matching small port intake. Velocity, and velocity means torque. Bigger port, bigger valves, bigger intake runner means high-end breathing at the cost of velocity. Every decision you make on building an engine is a compromise. You can go low-end torque or you can go high-end horsepower. Now, there are things you can do to get a nice flat torque curve, a little bit from column A, a little bit from column B. But again, it's all about the combination. So it's a trick people use. People want to throw 360 heads on their 318 to try and make a zillion horsepower with the bigger valves and the better breathing. But what they do instead is lower the compression ratio because the chamber's bigger, and they kill velocity. So the bottom end just goes right to shit. You can shave them and try and get some of the compression back. There are things you can do. But basically, this is from my reading like almost 20 years ago on Allpar. 318 heads on a 360 are the better combination for a street engine because you get that velocity, you get that low-end torque. So yeah, that's what that is. Throwing 360 heads on a 318, just throwing them on there is actually worse. You drop your compression and you lose velocity. So it's just one of those things where you'd think bigger is better. It is not necessarily. Oh, my mom says my grandpa retired in 95. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Jorge says, that's cool. I worked on a Carrier chiller in early 2000s that had vacuum tubes for the control panel. 800-ton chiller for Miami International Airport. That's amazing. Vacuum tubes are pure magic. Love them. They're amazing. And I love my musical implements to contain a certain amount of magic. It's very important. Excuse me. Multiple burps. Rippler, I still don't know how to actually say this, so I'm just going to keep saying Rippler. Is installing a new B-body wiring harness a huge job? Yes and no. The dash is the biggest, the toughest aspect because there's a dash in the way and you have to run the wiring through it. But if you pull the gauge cluster, which is also hugely annoying, then you can get in there and it's not so bad. Firewall connector. If you have air conditioning, so help you God, it is impossible. Don't even bother without like removing the dash. Because it is not fun, but non-AC, not a big deal. You totally can do that. Firewall forward, no problem. Super easy. And that's usually where you have the problems anyway. That's where everything gets crispy. So the firewall forward problem section, the firewall forward section, cakewalk. I did one on Tom's Charger and it was supposed to be on video, but I lost the clips. They're in my phone. I don't know. They're just gone. They're with Jesus now. Taillight section, obviously, carpet, sill panel, back seats in the way, getting into the trunk and all that. But that, again, not super hard. Rick Rice says, oh, just put the wrong oil filter cartridge in my 392. Oh, put a 21 micron Wix filter for a 216 on. The correct Wix is 25 micron rated. Both cross to the same Purolator number. Do I change it out? What's 4 microns among friends? I mean, I don't think you're going to have a problem. As much oil bypasses the damn thing anyway. I think it's fine. I wouldn't be too worried. It's a finer filter, but yeah, more restriction. I'm not a filter scientist. I think you're probably fine, though. Oh, Dan's one of my biggest cheerleaders. In fact, he was spitballing ideas today to get more subs. Dan says, come on, everyone. Let's tell everyone to subscribe. I want to see his face and the bald spot on the top of his head. What's up, baby? I do have a bald spot, kind of. The part's kind of weird. But as far as I know, you can't actually see scalp up there. All right? The hairline's kind of going. That's a family trait. It's not as bad as some. But I don't have a bald spot, really. Yeah. Ava's here. I have to fix her sweater. What do you think of Mom's new office? Big thumbs up. Cool. All right. You ready? There you go. It is getting a little cold, huh? We got to catch up. What's that?
I want to hang out in this room.
You can hang out. Do you want to close the windows? You know how to do that? The cranky thingies?
Yeah.
Okay. I still have to speed run questions because I've got like 40 questions and comments right now.
Do your
Yeah.
40 questions.
Okay, I'll do my questions. God. Anyway, you heard the man. My sister says, what are you talking about? We always get the Hawaiian for family dinners, and I don't eat it. Big Wrench wants to know, ever messed with any motorcycle? Yes, I had a handful of Kawasaki's from the late 70s, early 80s. I've had KZ 550s, 650s, and a CSR 750 twin. I liked them. They were cheap. That was the best thing about them. I sold all the Kawasaki's. Then I bought a 1972 Honda CB750. And that's the bike I put on its side. Almost got run over by a Toyota Tundra. That's right. Dad wrecked a motorcycle. Almost died. Might have ruined his hip. And that was almost the last time I was on one. I want to get an enduro dual purpose bike one of these days, but I don't really belong on a street bike, I don't think. Rodney Bird says, the Magnum stick shift dart sounds boss rolling through the gears. Saw the video this morning. It sounds amazing. And no one's asked me what the exhaust is yet. Those mufflers and pipes came off of a junkyard Hemi Charger. I don't know if it was an RT model or just a base one. Obviously, there's no cats, so it's just the either muffler or maybe it's what they would call a resonator and tailpipe sections. And I think he's got a crossover. And it sounds really good. I will say, when he had those Iridium plugs in it, it did not run like it does now. It never did. We've been out, we kind of beat on it a little bit when he first got the swap done. It was never like it is. So it's pretty cool. And just by reading the plugs, it looks like it wants even more timing and even more chooch. In fact, I think he needs more pump squirter too. So there's more in it, but it sounds fantastic. Would you? Don't wait. What are you doing?
Kitty are allowed in here.
Yeah, I don't think so, but okay.
Kitty are allowed in here.
Well, lucky you. Kitties are allowed in here.
Kitty allowed.
Did anyone else notice in the video that he was just hanging out in second the whole time? And I was like, dude, there are more gears. JTS says, we all migrated from Uncle Tony's live stream. I figured from the get-go, because he's that way and he ends his stream like in the middle of mine. I figured we'd get a surge of people from his to mine. That doesn't always seem to be the case, but we do usually pick up more later on.
I'm leaving the door open.
You're leaving me the cat? Nope, he's coming with you. That's your cat now.
No.
Okay, have fun.
I already have a cat.
Could you close the door? It's even louder with the door open.
Fine.
Thank you.
Fine.
I appreciate
Fine.
you. Anyway, I do appreciate you all being here. We're hovering around 50 today, which is definitely the most we've ever had. So thank you very much to everybody that's here. I will try and get to your questions and comments as fast as I can. I'm not going to comment on the Bud Light can. We're just not going there. I'm not going to give you my thoughts on Kid Rock either. I've already done that once this week. Just ask Rooster about that. I went on this whole tirade, and I'm not doing it again. We're past that. Jonathan's here with us and says, hey, DDG, first time catching the stream. Well, thank you for being here, by the way. I've got a 364 barrel 78 Chrysler Cordoba and an 80 Dodge Murata 318 cam intake pistons. Cool. Very cool. I like Cordobas. I've said that. Someone asked me last week what 80s Mopar I would choose, and I allegedly said a turbo K car, and someone else said we're not allowed to talk about K cars. I'm unclear on what the rules are. But the Murata is a good choice. We've talked about those a good bit here on the live. So very cool. There's a Cordoba in town that's been here forever that I would like to own. It's just slowly rotting into the earth. So I might have to go knock on that door sometime. Mike Senior 340 is here, and he says, video of Mike's 360. Thumbs up. Yeah, I do want to do way more on that car, and I will eventually. We just didn't have the time. It's a cool car. He has put so much into it over the years. He's been through several engines to finally arrive at that Magnum engine, and it smokes. I think we goobered up the hone job on that one. So this winter, we'll be going through the engine. We'll see if we can get it even spicier. And then, yeah, hopefully we'll do some more cool stuff on that and some action shots, which rolls into this comment. Brent wants to know, do you think your buddy's dart has anything for your demon? Maybe from a roll, but not from a dead stop. I've got traction. He does not have traction. The Demon is set up to do it. His just isn't. I drag raced that dart. Oh, I'm trying to remember. Was he 4-speed yet or not? I think he was his 318, which was warmed over 318 out of a roundy round car of some kind, but it wasn't crazy or anything. In fact, I'd like to open that engine up and figure out what it's about. But anyway, it was supposed to be built, and I really don't think it's got that much. And I think he had a 4-speed then, and I was driving a 70 Dodge D100 lowered 318 3-speed on the floor. And other than horrible axle hop, I got his ass. And that truck was not fast. Now, he's got a whole lot more engine, and I don't think he had the 8 3/4 then. I'm just not totally sure. That car has gone in stages, you know. I can't remember what he had then exactly, but I've already beat him once. Traction is not part of his operation. It's not a drag car. It's a drivable, enjoyable car. So from a dead stop, I'm going to monster him on the launch. No problem. As long as I don't have a horrible bog. He's definitely got power, and gearing as it is, he's going to get me on the top end. And the other thing I'll say is the engine that's in the Demon has a set of pistons put in it. It is not balanced. It vibrates horrible. It does RPM better than the 340 did. It sounds pretty good to a point, and then it's kind of all over. But that Magnum, you heard it. Oh, man. The top end on that Magnum, it's a Hughes cam, matched springs, ported heads, that double pumper, and that special air gappy manifold. He's got me on power. That's not a question. But I still like my chances. I got traction. I've got 410s. I'm going to monster him out of the hole. He's going to pass me on the top end. He's got the power and the 3.2s. Joe says 38,000 Canadians, like 53 cents USD, right? It's not quite that good anymore. Amy Harville's here with us, or at least was a bit ago, and says, thank you. Been trying to tell my husband, Big Ranch, there's nothing wrong with painting a room black. No, there really isn't. I'm not going to stream from our master bathroom, but it really is nice in there. Now, the other thing about that is we've got lights everywhere. There's like 4 bulbs on this side and 3 on that side, and sconces in the little bathtubby area. It's pretty cool. Out this window, I can see the top of the turrety thing that bathtub's in. It's cool. But anyway, super well lit, mirrors everywhere, and it doesn't feel like a cave. There are also a ton of windows, so that helps. But it works. Jorge says Scarface's walls were black and red, so get your goth paint on. You're damn right. Cayman Weisenbach says, why bother doing a roller cam LA when you can get a running Magnum for $150? Does the LA have some advantage? Well, they're cheap as hell. Running Magnums in my neck of the woods are more like $400 to $600. LAs are cheap. They're everywhere. If you have an original engine that you don't want to get rid of, like my 340 is a very good candidate for a roller, and I've been considering that because I don't want to have to worry about tappets. It's had ticking noises off and on since I got it. Kind of sucks. I want to put rollers in it and just be done with the cam problem. So there are reasons, definitely, you want to build the engine you have. You know, you've already invested into rotating assembly, an LA head, and you want to take that next step. You know, there are calls for it. But I was kind of thinking the same thing. And as I said, all of my experience with roller cams and small blocks is in Magnums. Yeah. So there you go. There are reasons, there are cases where it makes sense, but you're totally right. If you just want the roller cam, or if you're starting a fresh build and you want to base it around a roller cam, the Magnum's a great place to start. Rooster dropped in a little late, but it was quite a while ago now, and says, just in from the shop, grumble, grumble, piss, moan, gripe. Wow, what a turnout. Hi, Dead Dodge Mom and Caitlin. Tom sent me a huge discount on some Dana 60 gears. Why do I get all these deals thrown at me? I don't know. When I have no money. Dude, that is the way of the universe. That is the way of the universe. Jorge says, sorry, I'm a red and green color bling. Are you Santa? Tyler says, oh, yeah, good one there. I'm totally glossing over something. My brother has a roller 360 with Magnum heads, so it's like it might as well be a Magnum. But yes, Tyler brings up a great point. I think there were some roller camp LA blocks. I thought they started even earlier than 89, but basically if they had TBI, so that's 88 on the 318, 89 on the 360, they're going to have a roller camp. They may have existed a couple years earlier, but it wasn't as early as I thought. I thought they came in like 85, and someone corrected me and said they did not. But if you've got TBI, you should have a roller camp. So yeah. And the interesting thing about that is the casting number on the Magnum block is the same as the last roller blocks. They added different mount provisions and the crank sensor mounting, but they have the same casting number. And early Magnums still have the oil through for LA heads. So you can put LA heads on them if you wish. Say you got a set of perfectly good Edelbrock heads that you just took off of a 340 that you're not going to use, you could throw them on that Magnum as long as it's got that oil hole. So yeah, there were roller LAs. Ken says, I know you can play Machine Gun, or at least the beginning of it. Yes, I can. I think I already said I wasn't going to do requests, but I'll do that. I used to cover it really badly. All Praise says, I read the comments from the person who criticized your stroker big block. You were much more gracious and patient than I would have been. Well, that's just kind of who I am as a person, but I got very frustrated. And I said something to the effect of, it's so nice of you to come from your job at Petty Industries where you build high-dollar race engines and grace us with your knowledge. Now, for the record, in case anyone is keeping up with that drama, Johnson Machine, the machine shop, I checked with them. They did verify the pin fit on those pistons was good, but I didn't think anything of it. What I did in the video was cleaned them up, checked them, made sure they felt good. Feeling good is good. If they felt tight, I would have stopped right there. If they felt like they walked around in there, I would have stopped right there. They were right. They had already been checked. But I didn't actually know that then. I just knew, I'm pretty sure they're fine. They feel fine. And he just wouldn't let it go. And I was like, dude, okay. And really, I don't need that kind of shit in my life, and I don't have to respond to those people. But I do, because I know that he knows. He knows more than me. That he does. I'll be the first one to tell you. I don't know everything. I'm an advanced hobbyist who's making videos. I've been doing this for years, but I don't know everything. But why you gotta be such a dick? That's where I'm at. Jorge says he'll watch Problem Child. Awesome. It's a cool truck. It's really annoying in several ways, but it's a very cool truck. It's just one of those projects that won't leave. Luke says Mexico can keep that Ram Charger, but I'll take me one of them F-body Aspen Super Bs. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Big Wrench says, thanks, Jamie. Now I might have to paint my room black. Well, my wife does the color choicing, and I have had zero regrets. I love it. So we've gothed up our kitchen. Our master bedroom is dark green. And then the bathroom, we just cut to the chase and painted it black. And it's awesome. Rooster says group therapy. Yeah, that's pretty much where we're at. Oh, my mom says I should have brought her a cider. I didn't have any yet. I bought them after. I never have any suitable libations to indulge in. Well, we'll have to sort that out. Doug R wants to know, how much is a 1969 426 Hemi engine worth? A complete engine? 20 grand more? I don't know. What kind of condition is it in? What's there? How many times have the sides of the block been blown out and welded back together? I don't know, but probably a lot, which is unfortunate because I'd really like one. But it is what it is. Rooster, I promise I'll buy my mom a drink. Jorge says to Rooster to send me another Longmire picture. We already saw one of them. How many more do we need? It's just a really big mustache. Yeah, and Rooster would be an authority on value there. Rooster knows so much more about Hemis than I do. And kind of funny, Brent says 5 to 20K. Depends on condition. So when I threw out 20K before I read that comment, I guess I was pretty close. But again, it's really going to fit. A complete engine that's like runnable, whole, all original, unmolested. Dude, you're sitting on a gold mine there. So it just depends. Greg Loy says, long ram. Yeah, Tom has some in the shop, and I will do something long ram someday. I will do something with dual carbs running on an engine sooner than later. And I will do a turbo slant 6. I have a lot of big ideas. But all in good time, Reginald. Walter G902 is here and says, I was hoping you were going to build the Volare. I own a 1980 Volare myself, and I'm hoping to get back on the road later this year, I'm assuming. But I have an 88 IROC Camaro with T-tops to enjoy when the weather is nice. You know what's funny? I've had a couple of those. Well, I had a Camaro and a Firebird Trans Am anyway. And they're nice driving cars. And I might have to get another one someday. Don't tell anyone I said that. But anyway, I'm not rolling out doing anything with the Volare. It's just I need to narrow my focus. I have car ADD so bad. I need to work on the Daily Driver CUDA. I need to get the Demon really dialed in for racing, and I'm getting close on that. I need to work on the Power Wagon project. I've been working on the next installment on that since Christmas, and you still haven't seen it. I need to get customer jobs done. I need to get our van operational again. I need to get the garbage can CUDA put together. I'd like to do that this year. I need to work on my boat. I need to start building a ramp truck. So I got a lot of stuff to do. And I just look at that Volare and go, this thing's a piece of crap. Why do I even care? You know, so it's really cool from the cheap thrills view of things. But man, if I could pick between working on my Demon, the garbage can drag car build, or my 67 Barracuda, or that Volare, the Volare is just doesn't sound like the good option. So that's where I'm at there. It was cheap, so I grabbed it. I had some ideas. I might do those ideas, but I just can't commit to something like that. We'll see. But that's where I'm at on it. Rooster says I'm getting a part on Yellowstone. Dan Tupper says, tested 4x4 and track lock on my new blue pile of poo truck. Nice. I'm assuming it worked. Bob says it's like Mopar Jesus with the new desk setting. Whatever. Assemble all ye followers and smash the button of likes. And drink ye from the beverage of mistakes in more ways than one. Jorge says, okay, what's your favorite Dodge Plymouth Chrysler you used in a TV series? Mine was a 71 CUDA in Nash Bridges? Nash Bridges. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Nash Bridges. Oh, fuck. I just had one. Oh, TV series or movie. I might have to go Vanishing Paint Challenger on that. Obviously, the Bullet Charger, that's a big one. But your first one, it said TV series and not movie. So I was going to say the what is it? Is it a Roadrunner? Whatever the car is in Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law. Oh, dang it. Yeah, of course I missed it. My apologies. But Wiggy dropped in and said, I'll be gone when you see this, but I wanted to say howdy. Thanks for dropping in, Wiggy. Dan Tupper says, looking forward to this coming week's weather in the Pacific Northwest. Finally going to dry out after 5 months. I'm not holding my breath, but it looks pretty good. And so, again, I'm mostly just looking forward to it for the maybe I can get the charger out of the garage and maybe I can go drag racing reasons. So, yeah, I'm very excited. Bob says Mannix had a CUDA first. The late Charger in Burn Notice. And I never even really watched Burn Notice, maybe like 1 or 2 episodes. That's a good one, too. It's a good one, too. That's a little more recent. Dan Berg says, if someone came up to you and said that they would give you any car in the world, what would it be? As in, what would I choose? 1968 Dodge Charger. And I already got one. So, I don't know. I don't want a friggin' Koenigsegg or a Lamborghini. Today, it's the Slant 6 3-speed 1970 Challenger that Tom found on Facebook. That's probably a scam. I don't know, man. My sights are just set so reasonable. You know what I mean? 68 Charger, Hemi 4-speed. Done. Blue, please. Actually, no. Tupper's in the Vancouver area. A lot of people are. Banana says, in case everyone was wondering, my friend 70RT is running like a champ. We took it out today after installing new quarters and rockers on it. It's a good-looking car. How are you already done? That's amazing. Do you want to do mine? Because it's going to need all that eventually. Not rockers, but quarters, yeah. My brother's been working on metal on a 68 Roadrunner for like 2 years now. And I saw it today, and it still doesn't have a back half. Anyway. Jorge says, Manic Scooter was amazing, but the yellow and white interior made it a cream puff. Oh, yeah. Banana says he's not giving up that RT after spending that kind of money. No, I wouldn't. No, and he shouldn't. And the thing is, if it's running down the road and all the metal work's already done, the value just went up. So even if he did decide to sell it, he'd be doing good. So I don't think he should. Hang on to it, baby. Gonna be hard to get another one. Cave Dave says, my brand new gas tank on my 65 Plymouth is supposed to vent through the gas cap, but it's not. My gas tank collapses like a Bud Light can. Do I need to add a vent tube? Well, you don't have a venting cap, so that's what's happening. You could try a different cap. Beyond that, yeah, you could just add one of those aftermarket rollover venti thingies, and that would work just fine. Greg always says cat's ears. Oh, yeah. She left. We did that. Dougster Wolverine Garage says, have no fear, the Dougster is temporarily here. Well, thank you, Dougster, but that was 20 minutes ago, so I probably missed you. And Rocket Tom dropped in and said, 50 is a lot of people. Yes, it is. What?
What the heck?
What are you doing?
I don't know.
Fuzzhead's here. He's not really here. I'd invite you to join. Well, at least you're not wearing the Super B shirt. That would have been awkward. Would have been really awkward. Oh, let's just all join. Go on in. There's Hot Rod Henry.
Hot Rod? Hot Dog?
Hot dog.
Why is the room blue now?
It's blue now.
It looks
Oh,
gray
blue.
in the picture.
It is not gray. It's dark blue.
I meant to ask you to feed these cats.
I didn't.
That's all right.
I think they're fine.
Is this your room?
No, it's actually Aunt Sadie's office now.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm allowed to use it sometimes.
And when you guys move out, it's gonna be that room is gonna be his office.
That's right. But I'm sure that'll be a someday thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, 50 is a lot of people. Well, it's just a party now. Jorge says, I mentioned you on Uncle Tony's live stream the other night. Thank you. A couple people said they switched from Uncle Tony's lives to my lives. Figure that one out.
Oh.
Yeah, but anyway. Big Wrench says, dude, I had a 73 Honda 750. I pulled the engine and put it in a mid-70s Amen Savior chopper. Look that up sometime. Okay. Whoa, why does the mouse get big? That's weird. We got way too high tech tonight. And I have a laptop stand and a real keyboard and a mouse, and it's all very confusing.
Mama's keyboard
Yes, Mama's fancy glowing keyboard, yeah, which I bought her, by the way.
and Mama's fancy glowing mouse.
Yeah. Honda CB chopper frame. Nice. I know CBs are actually pretty common for that kind of deal, so interesting. I wouldn't chop one or do that frame swap. I love them as factory bikes. I just love how they are. I couldn't even bring myself to cafe mine, and I really like cafe bikes. Oh, Jorge says he actually read and answered a lot of questions. He does. There's so much going on in his lives. It's crazy. Hey, B, can you close the door again, please? Thank you. It's too loud. There's just too much. Rooster says, some subjects will light Jamie up like aircraft landing lights. Yeah, has had his fill of the way things are, so we'll leave it at that. He needed to vent. Yeah, and actually, Rooster, I wanted to apologize when I talked to you earlier. I kind of never got around to it, but I really did kind of go off on a tangent, and I realized I kind of sound like a dickhole, and that's not who I want to be, which is why we don't talk about that sort of stuff. So anyway, you know I appreciate you. Old Iron is here and says, you've probably talked about it before, but what's the story on the mystical gold swept line? So speaking of videos that I haven't gotten out there, I have had this video on that gold swept line in my phone, half done, for a year almost. Yes, can I help you?
Where's Uncle?
I don't know. Not in here. Okay, go on. I'm way behind. I got to catch up here. The story of the mystical, or could it be mythical, gold swept line. I started a video on it. It's been lowered. I changed the wheels. We put a 360 on it. I built custom dual exhaust myself. It's actually kind of awesome, if I do say so myself. Just glass packs and side tips. Really cool. I even angle cut them with a Sawzall, and they're pretty awesome. Anyway, yeah. Oh, no, I did it on the chop saw. Sorry, I did that on the chop saw. The story on that truck is it was my ex-girlfriend's family's truck. I think an older native guy had given it to her dad, and I think they used it briefly and then parked it. And it was parked forever. When I had my 70 Dart, she said, hey, you should do something with this Dodge truck. It's parked behind a Chinese restaurant. So I went and got it, and it was a 70, and I was really excited. So I put a 318 in it. The original one was seized solid. I got it running. It was just never really usable. And we parted ways, and the truck kind of stayed with me. I got it buttoned up finally to the point that it was actually usable for dump runs briefly. It went to them. It got used briefly, and then it just sat. And then I ended up getting it back in exchange for a bunch of repair jobs and stuff. So then I had this damn gold truck again. So it's pretty much been with me for 10, 12 years. Yeah, it was at the shop almost the entire time we had a shop, which is just... Anyway, I traded it to my friend Morgan as part of the deal for the garbage can CUDA back. Morgan had the CUDA for a while. My friend Drew had it, then Morgan had it, then it was back to me. I wanted to go drag racing with that car like 3 years ago, so we made the deal. We had a Valiant, the green weenie, that also went to Morgan, which originally came from Morgan. So it was this whole, it's all very incestuous is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, so I technically traded the gold truck for half of the garbage can CUDA like 3 years ago. And I'm a total dick for not getting it done. Burst of energy, we put a 360 in it. I did the exhaust. I finally got it lowered. I need to put a window in it. I sent a battery into the radiator, and now I can't find a radiator. And it's like, God, I can't afford $600 for a new radiator. And it's just this whole thing. So I need to get it record, or I need to adapt a car one. Then I need to make the friggin' brakes work again. Then I need to go through the carburetor because it's garbage now. It's a big project and a very long story, which I pretty much just gave you the entirety of. It's supposed to be gone. It'll be gone someday. I'll get back on it one of these days soon when I find a radiator. And you will see a video on it. But there will be clips from a year ago. That's where we're at. Walter G says, Turbo K cars kick ass. People need to stop hating on them. Long live the Turbo 8 valve. I'm with you, but I also understand why people don't like them. It's just... I don't know. I can view them in a positive light, and I do. But ideally, they need to have turbos and 5-speeds and be rampages. Dougster says, I prefer my CB750 stock. I have a 72 in Valley Green with gold stripe. Mine was Sunrise Orange with black stripe. And it was a 72, so it's like I think they have a surround stripe, and then the later ones have the big black stripe down the middle, and I don't like that one as much. But the earlier one was beautiful. One of the side covers was broken. I got a reproduction one, but it was black, unfortunately. The other one still said 750. Did it say SOHC? I don't remember. It was a single cam engine, of course. Kickstarter on it and all that. I loved that bike. And when I crashed it, I mean, my hip hurt. And like, it sucks I almost died, but I felt really bad for almost kind of sort of ruining that bike. So, yeah. Ross says, as much fun as putting a whole shot on someone as getting them on the big end is funner. Yeah. You were probably right there. I'm still kind of like learning. So hopefully I can actually do a whole shot. You know what I mean? Rooster says, Jamie, you could be Buckets the drummer. Bathroom rock. Yeah, pretty much. Scott Prado visiting in with us again from Hawaii. Still in Hawaii. It's almost like he's just not coming back. And I can only assume he's muted the stream by now because I said Dodge several times. Shopcat Industries is here with us again and says, hey, brother, hell yeah. Guess who hit 1K? Yep, me. Congratulations, my friend. That's awesome. All your problems are over. You're going to be making $20 a month before you know it. That's not true. My very first month monetized, I made $130, and I hope you end up in the same place. Many happy returns to you, and let's see you at 10K. Brent Forte wants to know, have you ever seen a Slant 6 with individual throttle bodies? No, but I've seen that crazy Weber setup on that Aussie one with all the crazy like cloud of reversion in the dyno room. I have been enthralled by individual throttle bodies for many years, and someday I will put some on something, but I don't know what or when. Shopcat says, there's an 01 Ram Charger for sale local to me in Canada. Uses a Caravan rear end. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, yes, Caravan back hatch. And that I can't abide. Bob says, did anyone see the SRT Caravan CUDA circa 78 and 71? Paint's crazy, body mods are killer. Yes, I did see it, and it's cool. Dan says, I don't think you have enough bumper stickers for the Volare to hold it back, hold it together. Yeah. Oh, that's a good one too. And I never watched the Green Hornet, so yeah, didn't even think of it. But the Crown Imperial, yes. And there was one of those local many years ago. It wasn't the right color. It was white, but kind of wanted that. My mom's favorite car from a show and or movie is the Trans Am and Smokey and the Bandit. And I totally agree. Great one, solid one. But the question was Mopar. And of course, the Pontiac isn't. Rooster says the Volare needs to go to Tom's farm and finish Return to the Earth. Might have to agree there, but I'll need the disc brakes first. Rich Jordan says, late response, but Mission Impossible series had a number of fuselage C bodies and Imperials, sleek and elegant. Emergency had the Dodge W300 squad. Cool. I haven't watched really any of that, so. Old Iron's got a good one. What if I said the D200 crew cab from National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation? All I'd say to that is, good stuff. Banana says, we finished quarter panels and rockers at 2 a.m. Proud of you. Yeah, no Mopars and Bandit movies. Yeah, but there are in the Blues Brothers, and I'm going to erase everything I said and say the Bluesmobile because I don't know why I didn't think of it. Absolute legend. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Blake Norman is here with us and says, put a 225 in a 47 one-ton Dodge. Takes all my time, but it runs and cruises and won't die. So I can't heat pile it. Awesome. Cool. I mean, my Power Wagon is a one-ton four-wheel drive with a flathead 6 that makes less power than the 225. You know, the solution for no power, of course, gearing. But I'm not taking that out. You know, I could V8 swap it very easily, and I'm not going to do that. You know, the low-power flathead is the right engine for that truck. But Henry says we speed ran, I think would be the right way to word that, but whatever. Sped run the metal, but we had to be careful. Of course. Ross says the Slant 6 3-speed Challenger exists. Yeah, I know. Yep. There's one listed in Seattle or Renton or something. It's probably a scam. The same guy's listed it twice. $7,500 last year, and now it's $12,000. So it's amazing, though. It's got 4-barrel on it, headers on it. It's sitting in bushes. And it's a 3 on the floor. Dude, so cool. Anyway, Ross says, my uncle bought 2 new, one for him, one for my cousin, white one and a red one. Nice. Banana also says on that 70 Charger, car looks amazing and he loves it. He gave you a nod for the Charger Rust video, by the way. Excellent. Well, he's already learned everything he needs to know. Rooster says the beloved brother shows up. So brother, ma, sis, and Ava is a family show for sure. Plus my nephew is here. Don't forget Henry. Henry, of all of them, he's going to be the car guy. I don't think Ava really is. We'll see if she wants to go drag racing or do the quarter midget thing. I'll be the first one there. But if not, all good. She doesn't seem to be nutso for the cars. Henry, on the other hand, nutso is the right word. I'm going to try and move this light. It's getting dark. I don't know if that's better or not. It kind of blinds me, but definitely makes me look spooky. Spooky. Here we can do this. Let's see. Here we go. Good enough. Banana says, I have to say, going 145 in a 440 Magnum is scary. Been there, done that. I felt the back start to lift up a bit. We had a ton of fun, and his family loves it, so it turned out to be great. Cool. That's what I was telling you. I've been there, and I've done that, and you really do feel it try to take off. Rooster says, wait on it, bro. You're a dick, but I love you anyway. Many, many minutes later. I'm getting closer. I will own it. I'll own being clueless and untrained. I'll own not knowing how to say words right. I'll own being a little annoying. You know, it is what it is. And I'll own being wrong. Dan says, found him another Volare when I was up in his backyard that he sold parts to the owner. I still haven't heard from that guy. But again, I don't know. The Volare seemed like a really cool idea for a minute there. And at this point, I just could take it or leave it. Oh, cool. Banana says that Charger is plum crazy purple with Magnum 500s, black vinyl top with sneaky rust, of course, black interior with a pistol grip. 70, of course, is the first year for the pistol grip, so that's probably actually correct. Great ride. I've never seen a car owner get more attention than with that one. Yeah, I'm sure people are going to go nuts. Very cool. Jamie should put the turbo on the daily driver CUDA. Mileage and power, plus he can drive to Tom's to go to work. Yeah, I really think that's just the way I'm going to go. I mean, I understand people wanting me to do something with the Volare. I still kind of want to do something with the Volare, ideally something ridiculous. But I think I'm just going to skip it as far as the turbo setup. I was thinking I'll develop this setup and I'll put it on whichever car. Hell, I might put it on every one of them one by one. I might get a totally different slant six car and put it on that. I might get another banana van with a slant six and put it in that. The possibilities are endless. But the setup and the components and sciencing that out is kind of more important to me than what it goes in. Does that make sense? I think it does. Big Wrench says, how much is the going rate on a rough but restorable A-body with no engine? They're going for stupid money here in Florida. I sold the Gold Barracuda with no title, which is a bit of a problem, for $1,500. And frankly, with the amount of interest I got and the fact that it was literally, I had a deposit in 6 hours or less, might have been a little cheap. I don't know, but I can't really be that guy. You see people asking $8,000 for projects with no engines, and that just kind of pisses me off. So, yeah, rough but restorable is kind of a big, that's a big gray area. How much rust? You know, is there an interior? How much do you have to do? Does it need every single mechanical piece or just most of them? Don't know. So yeah, I sold the Duster for $2,000. It also has paperwork problems, which is annoying, but it does have an engine and runs and moves at least. Not perfect, needs all the fluids changed, needs gone through. The transmission might be questionable. You know, there's a lot of stuff to do on that, but it was a running, driving car. Driving in quotes. And yeah, Dan agrees. A-bodies are going for crazy money everywhere. And that's why I am noteworthy, because they're reasonable at my house. And I'm willing to ship, just saying. Jason Umbright says, hit my milestone today at 200 subscribers after 2 months. Awesome. Very cool. The technical guides were big for me. That got me there. It was probably about the same. I hit 1,000 in 4.5 months. When I bought the Demon, that was my first video that got all the attention. It got 56,000 views, and I got tons of subscribers and a lot of action from that. And all the subsequent Demon videos got more views, boosted that one even more. So it was like that kind of all happened that way. But 200 subs in 2 months, that sounds pretty damn good. And I did notice the last of your videos that I watched, I haven't seen the other fleet updates, but the last video on the truck, I think it was. I don't know if it was the one about the blown-up engine or if it was a different update on it. But I saw one of them had like thousands of views. So it looked like you're doing really well there. And the people are digging it. So nice work. Very cool. My mom missed the Mopar part of the equation. Big Wrench is looking for something to put a 360 in. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's thousands now. It used to not be. And that's why when things like Velaris and Dusters that I can get for a few $100 come along, or Barracudas, I just buy them. Just buy them and ask questions later. Whether I do something cool with it or I send it off to the next guy, I throw in some parts and make a couple bucks, whatever. I have been seeing tons and tons of ads from big time flippers lately. I don't count myself as one of those. I do make money on these projects, not much. And these guys are asking $5 to $7 grand for that kind of car. Like, Jesus, that's not me. But yeah, buy them, grab them. If you can find an A body that's workable for under 1,000, buy it. Brent says the Fury from Christine. Yeah, that's a good one too. But I would counter that with the Charger from Christine. Dave says, wasn't sure if it was mentioned, but Mannix had killer stuff. Yes, it was actually. Yeah. They won't catch us. We're on a mission from God. Jason says, movie car for me has to be the Pursuit Interceptor. Yeah, it's a great one. The last of the Interceptors. But again, not a Mopar. There's some good Mopars in Fury Road, though, but they're not like hero cars. They're just extras. Tony says, dump the Volare, wait for a better one. Yeah. Oh, Old Iron's heading out. Of course, he's in a very different part of the country, and it's probably late there. And I am getting to the end of the comments. I see a few people kind of dropped out, but we've still got 45 of you out there, which is pretty impressive. So if you do have any comments, questions, concerns, jokes, or insults, feel free to send them my way. If I could find, okay, I actually did find a better Volare, and here's the funny part about it. It's the same color, and someone was making a Roadrunner clone, so it's got the louvers on it, and it's got a 400 and a 4-speed, I think. Or maybe it's 400 and it's a stick car, but they put an automatic in it, but it's got pedals and hump and all that. It's something. I'm trying to trade a pile of my extra engines for it. Haven't really heard back from the guy, but we'll see. It could happen. Yeah, the mission's making new friends and bringing people together over a cider and some hot rods. Yeah. Rooster tries to answer a few questions and bring some humor, and sometimes Prudence, or Prudence's sister, whatever her name is. Yeah, Rooster, of course, one of many people that we have here who are very knowledgeable, have been doing this way longer than me. And one of my strengths, I think, is an ability to listen to people like you that know. And, you know, I can accept when I don't know and when I'm wrong. And I think if all of us could be a little bit more like that, not trying to toot my own horn, I'm just saying, I think if we could all like listen to other people and accept new information coming from them, we'd be a little bit better off. So that's what I try to be like. And it's big for me to have people like you. Dan Tupper, of course, again, very knowledgeable person who's been doing this way longer than me. And Tom, of course, we've got Tom, who is a wealth of knowledge. So it's awesome to have that kind of people who come here week after week and answer questions for people. It's pretty dang cool. Mikey Mopar says, for your little bit of pinging, I run ethanol-free gas to keep all the moisture out, along with VP Octanium octane booster in my modded 68 440. Supposedly boosts octane up 8. Interesting. Supposedly is going to be the big operator there. Rooster and I were talking about a brand of octane booster he uses and has been proven to actually work. I can't remember the brand, but I'm sure he will chime in. Klotz, that was it. Yes, Klotz. The reading I did said most of the popular octane boosters are like 0.8 or something, like just, or less, like just kind of not really enough to matter. I've never used it. And as far as ethanol free, as I understand, ethanol actually helps to prevent detonation. Just having it there raises the octane sort of, but it's like artificial, and it's this whole thing. But it's the reason people use E85 for high boost tunes to prevent detonation. So ethanol, from a performance standpoint, actually isn't that bad of a thing. But its tendency to collect moisture is. So obviously you have to take steps to avoid that and avoid the corrosion and other horrible crap that comes along with it. I use ethanol fuel. I use ethanol premium in the Demon. In the 340, I had no problem, no pinging even at like 50 degrees timing. Or very, very little pinging. I really think it's something with this new engine because according to the reading I'm seeing on the plugs, I could give it way more timing. I'm running it at 32 right now, which is very conservative. And I will say at 32, the power is fine. But the timing line on the plug that I'm seeing says 36, 38 should probably be fine. So I'm still getting pinging. It's not a high compression engine. So I just wonder if I have a couple holes swapping fire or if something else is weird. Rooster was saying try octane booster, and I do want to do that. I need to get some of that stuff he was suggesting and give that a shot. I have never run octane booster before, ever in anything. Never have. I see a lot of you took to heart when I said, hey, if you have questions and comments, now's the time. So I'll try to get through all those. Oh, I see Big Wrench Tech is headed out, so I will see you later. Thanks for being here as usual. Appreciate you joining the group. It's 11 o'clock in Florida. Yeah. And I have to edit a few videos. You take care. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And Ross says the Bluesmobile was a Mopar. Yes. That's where I'm at. YT Viewer says, did I miss the turbo discussion? My vote is turbocharging the Slant 6 in the Barracuda. Very nice. Wow, wow, wee woo. You have to drink if I ever do something dumb like that. Yes, your vote is my vote. That is my plan now. We did talk about it a little bit. In fact, I filled everybody in on the part that didn't make it into the video, which is that I've already figured out my intake manifold solution. I'm taking a 1-barrel slant manifold, cutting a hole in the top, and welding a carb spacer to it. And by I mean my friend Mike that owns the white 360 Magnum-powered Dart. So, but yeah, we discussed it at length a little bit more than that. If you have any specific questions, let me know. My question is just, is this even going to work? Joel Shooter says, how'd your week go, my interweb friend? I really dig your live thing. So bitchin'. If I think of something to say, I'll sound off. My week went pretty well. I actually got a couple important projects done and out of here. Again, as I mentioned, I sold a couple project cars out of here that I just really did not need. So yeah, it went pretty good. It feels good to not be broke again for a few minutes. Till I spend it all on turbo parts. But yeah, going pretty good. I will say the days I spent at Rocket this week were all spent cleaning, which is cool, and it needed to happen. But there was a lot of dust and some allergy stuff happening. Cleaning and detailing a carburetor restoration, which took me way too long. Just so many hours in this Holly carburetor. So that was a little tedious. But other than that, pretty awesome week. Banana says, buy a Diplomat and put a Hemi in it. I dare you. Well, if you triple dog dare me, I guess I just won't have a choice. But I need a Hemi first. Dan Tupper says, beach blanket movie, Formula 500. As a first-gen Barracuda given the Batmobile treatment. Oh, that's cool. Huh. Yeah, and then there's Rooster with some info on Octane Booster. And that was kind of my understanding, is that the VP stuff really wasn't very good. 10 points equal 1 octane. So that's what I thought. So yeah, but I don't know. Oh, Big Wrench did ask, and I know he's left now. Maybe he'll, I don't know, watch this later or something, but I'll fill you guys in. The acoustic that I've played in all the lives, this is a 1966 Harmony Sovereign 1206. It's not a full dreadnought. It's smaller than that, but it's not one of their teeny tiny ones either. I can't remember what they call, but but the 1206 is the model designation. And it's supposed to have a pick guard, but it fell off and my friend ruined the top. So I guess there's no point in putting it back on. I also have a vintage Gibson, which I like, but I haven't played it in a while. The Harmony has been with me for ages. A kid or a cat or both knocked it off a guitar stand 10 years ago, and I had to glue the body back together. But it sounds even better now than it did before that. So I've actually been playing it live with an electric pickup as well. Really like it. Jorge says, after wearing my shirt last weekend, my son was upset I didn't get him one, so I had to order him a small. Thank you for that. You're advertising and it helps, but you're mostly just advertising to your own family. Still counts. I guess I should check for any new orders. I did get your second one, so I know that got processed. Yep. That was the last one. Someone else ordered something in during the live last week, and I know I mentioned it then, but I do appreciate that. If anyone somehow doesn't know, we have Dead Dodge Garage merch at deaddodgegarage.com. You click on the merch button. It's made by a third-party company, but it's really good quality stuff, at least fairly good quality stuff. I've bought a good bit myself, and it does help us. We mostly just want to use your body for advertising, but we make a little bit of money off them. A little bit. We still haven't raised prices. I have threatened to do that. So if you want a t-shirt, now would probably be a good time to buy. Just saying. But it's good stuff. My friend Fitz did all the designs. We'd really like people to buy it more, and then we'd be a little more excited to do more. We have a lot of cool ideas, but if people aren't going to buy it, why? Just saying. Tell your friends. Brent Forte says, did you know Bedhead and Roadhead have nothing to do with each other? There's your drum roll. Oh, and Mikey Mopar agrees with me. Yes, 68 Charger and Christine. Beginning of that movie with him parked at the bottom of the driveway when Arnie drops garbage all over. The stance is killer. Yeah, I loved that car in that. Dan, are you talking about, I don't know what picture you mean. You sent me a little short video of that weird Volkswagen thing. Not exactly my thing. If there was another picture, I don't know if I saw it. Oh, there you go. Alan's Cars and Stuff dropped in and said 72 Charger and Wheels of Terror. Good one, but I haven't seen it. Jorge says, my uncle had an 80s Diplomat. That car was indestructible. He would tow his 22-foot boat with it. That's amazing. Walter G wants to know, do you collect die-cast cars? Yes, I do. Hot Wheels, Johnny Lightning, or Matchbox? If so, I'll message you on your Facebook fan page and get your address and send you some Mopars. That would be awesome. Yeah, you can message me on Facebook or on Instagram, although I don't always see them. So Facebook's good. Or you can email me at jamienoise@gmail.com, and I am happy to send you my address and receive more little Mopars. I have some bigger die casts. I do have a pretty extensive Mopar Hot Wheels collection. In my office downstairs, the one I'm not in today, right over my shoulder, I have a clear plexiglass case that's full of them. But there's a little more space in there. So send me whatever you want. But drop me a line. I'll send you my address. That would be awesome. Luke says, it's hard for me to take advice just because, but my Magnum swaps were completely DDG inspired. Awesome. Well, I'm happy to help. And I totally understand. But if I can help, great. And if I have the right ideas or the best ideas at a given time, I'm happy to have them. But again, I'm just saying, like, despite the guides and the information and stuff I put out there, I am listening. I'm like a sponge, and I just take in information from everywhere as much as I possibly can about these things. I'm learning all the time, and sometimes you people are watching me do it. So that's just who I am. DJ Katiz says, anyone would know why A-body headlights won't come on. They work when straight to the battery, but when plugged in, they don't work. All the switches are good, and all the other lights work. Are you really, really sure all the switches are good? Because the dimmer on the floor is a very common problem. Very common. Dimmer switches die all the time. If this is an A-body that's been sitting for, well, maybe you've replaced it, and that's why you say they're all good. There's no fuse, There's supposed to be a breaker built into the headlight switch. A-body doesn't have, so on my charger, I had problems with the disconnect under the battery, 66 charger, but A-body doesn't have that. They're straight wired. Could be in the firewall connector. You get problems there, but headlights usually aren't it. Usually it's the charging circuit because it draws so much more power through there. Make absolutely sure your dimmer switch is bad, because that's the one that's gotten me again and again and again. And guys, I do just have a couple minutes left here. I'll get through these last comments. I don't think that'll be a problem. But I really do appreciate you all being here. We're coming up on 8 p.m. my time and Dan Tupper's time. So everyone that's heading out, that's normal. And I appreciate you hanging out. And Bob's one of them. He ducked out. So we'll see you later, Bob. Thanks for being here. But yeah, the other thing to do would be test light, multimeter, power probe, and go to every part of that circuit and figure out where you have power, where you don't. I mean, you could absolutely have a wiring problem, but the most common thing is going to be the dimmer switch on the floor or the headlight switch. But the dimmer switch always seems to be bad first. If you're sure they're good, okay, but I'd like to know how you're sure they're good. If they're both new, okay, but that's not a guarantee. Been there. Dan says that Formula 500 car was at the last Ash Bash down here in Vancouver. The car was out of Eugene, Oregon. Used images of a 426 Hemi later Barracuda for the money shots. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know about that one. You might have mentioned it before. Not sure. Hobby says, good thing about early 70s LA360 blocks, they have high nickel content, plenty of meat where you could bore out with 340 pistons. The charger from Dirty Mary Crazy Larry, that is a good one, yeah. Did they really reduce the nickel content in later Mopar engines? I know that's a big thing with Chevy, like, oh, the good blocks are high nickel. I don't think there are any bad Mopar LA blocks, and I don't think they took any meat out of the later LA360. Pretty sure you can bore them the same. And it's only 40 over to go from 360 size to 340 size, so that's really not a big cut anyway. As far as I know, LA blocks is LA blocks. I don't think there's any particular year that's like better, unless you're going for a roller cam. Yeah, I don't think so. There are various iterations of the 318 block in earlier years, but again, even those generally you can bore them a lot as long as they mag out okay. So yeah, I haven't heard that. If there is a lower nickel content in the later ones, it doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me. You're not going to make enough power to hurt an LA block unless you've really messed up, I'm pretty sure. Or, you know, I mean, a crap ton of boost, but then you're in a whole different universe than the one I live in. In the one I live in, any LAs is good LAs. Ross says, a little social distortion machine gun blues. Somehow I don't know social distortion. That may come as a shock, but I do not. Mikey says VP Octanium raises at 80 points, which equals 8 octane. 10.5 to 1 compression, 34 degrees timing, and no pinging. Well, 10.5 to 1 isn't that high, and 34 degrees isn't that much. But I don't know. Again, and I have not individually tested these products. I've just read about them. You know, that's all. And heard from Rooster. But again, I don't know. I have no firsthand knowledge on them yet. Big Ranch dropped back in and said, sorry, I'm back. I forgot my coffee cup. Jorge says you should plug that merch, I'm sure is what I was supposed to say, in during your weekly videos. I did in the last Demon video just as a test, and it got me 0 sales. So it almost just feels like the wrong thing to do, but I might try it a couple more times. We'll see. Russ says, the king in cars. Yeah. We got to win this race. Rooster says, we run VP 114 fuel in the drag cars. Have used their octane booster before, and Amzol. Klotz works the best and has a lead out of 2. VP does not. Interesting. YT viewer says, 62 Belvedere at the end of Hell Comes to Frogtown. Sure, it's been turned into a tank, but those taillights are unmistakable. That's 2 in 1. That's a twofer. Rich Jordan says, ciao, I'll see you later. Oh, Rip, so you were the one that picked up a t-shirt, or maybe that was just now. I'll have to check. Ripper says, picked up a t-shirt from your webpage. Thanks for the great. Oh, yeah, there it is. Awesome. I'll process that later. Thank you very much for being here. I really appreciate seeing you. Good night, Jorge. You take it easy. Have a good one. Don't take a good one and have it easy, unless that is your preference, in which case, whatever. Oh, DJ says, I'm assuming, says just replace both. Haven't tested them. Some of the wires are not the best. My dart's a bit of a pile. Okay, you're probably just going to have to get out the test light and just see what's what. See if you got power going into the dimmer switch. And if you do, see if you got it coming out. And if you do, go to the firewall connector, check it both sides, and I bet you're going to find the problem. Or just wiggle it with the headlights on. Just jam the firewall wires. That can work. I got to get out of here. It's pretty much dinner time. Mrs. Jamie, homemade chicken noodle soup, made the chicken stock from an actual chicken, the whole thing. Not one of ours. Anyway, I'm very looking forward to it. Yeah, again, in my experience here, I'm in the weeds on that one. I haven't tested these products. I've just done reading on a lot of those octane boosters, and they say it don't work. So that's the only place I'm coming from. Rooster says they did reduce the nickel content in 7172. Okay, that's interesting. I didn't know that. But, I mean, people still love the late big block Mopars because they are stout in the bottom end. They have more reinforcement. And I've never read anyone complaining about the low nickel content. So I don't think it really matters that much. I hear people talk about it. I know the Chevy guys go nutso for the high nickel blocks, but I just, again, in Mopar world, I don't think it matters. Just saying. And Craig Bully says Ford also reduced nickel content. High content blocks were made in Mexico. Very interesting. Banana says, have a good week. I'm going to seethe with fun jealousy at your Charger. Well, just remember it's not that good. How about Dom's 70 Charger from Fast and the Furious? I've never watched one single Fast and the Furious movie. Not once. Maybe I will someday. We'll see. My sister says, what's the shipping like on merch? Reasonable. Normal. Not too bad. Not too bad. Oh, yeah, and Rooster says, I'm building that car. Yeah, he pretty much is. T's Good Times Garage dropped in as well and said, hey, gang, I'm way late, but it looks like it's been quite a discussion tonight. Been since I joined the party, but I had the chance to, so I want to say hi. Yes, we've had quite the chat, and more people here than ever before, which, again, I really do appreciate. Super stoked that y'all people keep coming back again and again and again. Kind of surprised. I thought I was too annoying for that. So thank you, everybody, for being here. We've got almost 40 people still at 2 hours. So thanks very much. See you later, Mikey. Thanks for being here. YT viewer, you have a great night as well. I'm going to take off. And if I don't, it's no soup for you. I'm not going to throw the empty can in my wife's office either, but take it easy. And if it's that easy, take it twice. All right, I'll end with this. Let's see if I can find it. There it is. Nope, I can't do it. That's all you got. I'm out of here. Oh, Fitz is here to say he was here. Cool. All right. I'm out of here. See you. Bye.